All right, so this is Gladys Guañez once again, and this will be my video skills showcase. The first thing that I would like to give emphasis on is the relationship between Amazon SEO and Amazon PPC. All right, so Amazon SEO is like the buddy of the boat, right? So it is responsible mainly for feeding Amazon with the right information about what our product is all about, right? And it would feed Amazon those information through the keywords that we have on our listing, on page and off page, right? As well as, we have to make sure that the product listing that we have is SEO optimized and conversion rate optimized so that once our ad is clicked by a customer or a potential buyer, then they would not be looking for another product to buy. So they would, readily buy the product because it is conversion optimized already. And we would not be wasting ad spend that way. So Amazon PPC, on the other hand, is the engine of the boat, which means that it is responsible for bringing the body of the boat to its destination point, which is in front of the potential buyers, right? So if you already have the body of the boat, then what you need is an engine so that it would boost the sales velocity of a certain product. And the more sales that that certain product will have, the more it is going to rank. The more that the product ranks, the more organic sales that it will have. And the more organic sales means the more profit that our client will have as well. All right. So Amazon SEO and Amazon PPC, they go hand in hand. Okay. So next would be some of the Amazon PPC terms that I believe every Amazon PPC specialist should be familiar with. We have impressions, or in other words, the number of people who viewed the product. We also have clicks, number of people who clicked the product, CTR, or click through rate, which is computed by dividing the number of clicks by the number of impressions that a certain search term or a product has. And then conversion rate, which is the number of orders over clicks. We also have CPC, or cost per click, which is basically the amount you pay per click on the ad. And then ACoS, or advertising cost of sales, which is computed by dividing the ad spend over the sale. Now, RoAS, or return on ad spend, is basically the opposite of ACoS, which is something that we would get if we divide the sale over the ad spend. Now, to give you a bit of a demonstration on how some of these PPC terms are computed if they are not available. So I have here an example of a sponsored product search term report. And for this one, you are going to compute manually the click-through rate, advertising cost of sales, and return on ad spend, as well as the conversion rate. So to get the click-through rate, all we have to do is divide the number of clicks over the number of impressions. All right. So it would give us a percentage of how many of those impressions are actually clicked by the buyer. So we can just auto-populate that. Now, next, we are going to get the ACoS, or advertising cost of sales. And to get that, all we have to do is to divide the spend over the sales, right? Then we just auto-populate that. And then return on ad spend, it's basically the opposite of ACoS. So we just have to divide the sales over the spend. All right. So this means that for every dollar that we spend, we would get 9.92 back. Right. So that's good. The higher the ROAS, the better our campaign is. And since that ACoS is the opposite of ROAS, the lower the ACoS that we have, the better. All right. it means that we are spending less just to get one sale. So for the conversion rate, to get it, all we have to do is divide the order by the number of clicks. Then auto-populate that. All right, so for this one, of course, the higher the conversion rate, the better it is performing. All right, now let's go ahead and discuss about some useful Excel formulas that we can use when it comes to managing our Amazon PPC campaigns. All right, so we have VLookUp, which is something that we use to find things in a table or arrange by row. And we also have the concatenate formula, which is something that we can use to link things or data together in a chain or series. Or when it comes to Excel or spreadsheet, we can, link different datas in different cells into one cell. Now for pivot table, it's just something that we can use to calculate, summarize, and analyze the data that lets us see comparisons, patterns, and trends in our data. So to give you a better understanding of these formulas, I think it's better if we would actually demonstrate on how we can use this formula when it comes to PPC. All right. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So what we have here in is an example uh, bulk file. So for this scenario, for example, we have new mind keywords. All right. Now, what we want to know is if these new keywords are actually already running in our current Amazon PPC campaigns. So in order to do that, what we need to do is to go to the bulk file that we have under sponsored product campaigns. For example, if you want to know if these keywords are already in the sponsored product campaigns. So first, let's do some filtering. All right, so first make sure that what we have turned on here for our record type are the keywords and product targeting only. All right, so we can turn off the other filters and just keep the keywords and product targeting. Now, for the match type, make sure that we turn off the negative match types, right? Because those are keywords that we have already disabled per se in our campaign, so we don't need those stuff in there. And then for the campaign status, ad group status, and status columns, make sure that we are only including the ones that are enabled. All right. So we have to get rid of the post campaigns and ad groups that we currently have on our Amazon PPC campaigns, because we only want to know if these new mind keywords are included in the enabled campaigns, ad groups that we have right now. All right. So make sure that we get rid of the post ones. Right. So once you have all those filtered accordingly, we can now highlight all of these cells and then copy it in a new sheet. Space, special, values only. So that we can now use this new sheet when it comes to our VLookUp formula. All right, so I'm just going to do this for now. I'm gonna freeze the top row. Right. Right. So these are the new mind keywords, for example. So we want to know if these keywords are already existing in the current keywords or product that we are targeting in our active campaigns on PPC, on Amazon PPC. Right. So what we need to do is to look up this term from the other sheet, and this is when VLookUp would be very useful, right? So VLookUp, and then highlight the um keyword that you want to look up for in the other sheet, and then we can just highlight this column right here, which is where we would like to find if the new keywords are already existing. And then just put 1, since that we only have one column. So this is the first column wherein we want to find out the value that it has, and then put false. So that's the formula. If you see the keyword in here, it means that it's already existing. All right. But if it shows you that it is not applicable, that means that the keyword that we have here does not exist yet in the current PPC campaigns that we have enabled. Now, if you want to use the concatenate formula, I think this would be useful for, like, okay, for example, you want to know, because these keywords are already existing, right? So you want to know in which campaign, in which ad group, and what is the match type of the keyword in our current Amazon PPC campaign. All right. So concatenate is something that I feel like would be useful for that if you want to know those things in one go. So all we have to do is link the keywords that, I mean, link the stuff that you want to know in one column. Let's do that. Concatenate. Then select the columns that you want to merge in one column. Let's say the campaign name, the ad group, the keyword. What else? Let's say the match type that it has, right? And you would see that they would all be merged in this one column right here. And we can just auto-populate that. Now we can just use VLookUp again to know the ad group level, the campaign level, and the match type of this certain keyword that is already existing in our campaigns. Right, so highlight the keyword that you want to search for, and then you would just highlight these columns since we're going to use the concatenate column for this one. So say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the range is 5 since we have 5 columns there. Then put false, and there you go. So from here, we can already determine that this keyword right here is under this campaign name, ad group name, and it has the match type exact. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it on how to use the concatenate formula. All right. So now for the pivot table, um, for example, in this scenario, we want to know the different impressions, clicks, spend, and sales that each of the match types that we have has for this certain sponsored product search term report, right? So we have different match types. We have automatic, we have exact, we have broad, we have phrase, right? So in order to analyze the data, it is going to be useful if you're going to use a pivot table. So to do that, we can just go ahead and insert a pivot table. And then under rows, we're going to add the match type. And then for the values, we're going to add the, let's say, impressions. clicks, spend, and sales. And so here we have those stuff. Now to be able to edit the table, all you have to do is to copy that and paste it as special values. And we can just delete this one. So for this one, this is going to be for the automatic campaigns. Now, if you want to know the percentage of impressions, clicks, spend, and sales for each of the match types, we can create more rows for that. And we can also get the ACoS for each of the match types that we have here. So to get that, we just have to divide the total of the automatic campaign impressions over the grand total. Wait, shouldn't be in dollars. There you go. Number of impressions divided by the grand total. Then let's put a dollar sign so that it wouldn't move. And then just auto-populate that. And for this one, we're going to use percentage. So there you go. So from here, you can see that the least number of impressions that we have is from the phrase match. Since, we have very low spend on phrase match as well. So that's why we have small number of clicks and impressions for that match type as well. Now let's do it for the clicks. So same thing, we're just going to divide that to the grand total. And then let's make sure that the formula, when we drag this down, this right here won't move, so that it would give us an accurate number. Right, so from here we can see that we have the most clicks for automatic, and then the least clicks for phrase as well. Now for the spend, same thing. We have the most spend for the automatic campaigns and the least spend for the phrases. All right. Now for the sales, and ACoS. So ACoS would be spend over sales. And this should be in percentage as well. So the total ACoS is 24%, which I think is pretty good, but that would also depend on the break-even ACoS that your client has, as well as the target ACoS that they are, looking forward to have. Now for this one, we have the biggest ACoS for phrase. So that means that we are spending a lot just to get one sale for this match type. And I guess that's also the reason why they chose to spend less on phrases, because as you can see from here, it has the biggest amount of ACoS, and as we have learned before, the lower the ACoS, the better your Amazon PPC campaigns are performing. All right, so the next thing that we would like to discuss is the Amazon campaign structure. So for each product or ASIN, we can have two main campaigns, which are the automatic campaign for, for getting more keywords for our keyword research and keyword mining, as well as for getting more impressions and views that Amazon would be able to give our product based on the listing that we have. And then we also have the manual campaign wherein you would be the one to put the keywords that you would like Amazon to show our product for. Right. So under manual campaign, we have the broad match type ad group, the phrase match type ad group, and the exact match type ad group. And under those three ad groups that we have the keywords. All right, so now let's discuss the different targeting match types that we have for Amazon PPC. Right, so we have three main match types right here for the manual campaigns, right? So we have the broad match type, the phrase match type, and the exact match type. So to give you a little bit of understanding of the differences of these three keyword match types, for broad match types, it can add modifier words at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of our keyword. The phrase match type, it can only add modifier words at the beginning and or at the end of our keyword so that our keyword would still be intact. For the exact match type, it can only show you the exact keyword that you put in there. So it wouldn't have any modifier words. To show you visually, here's how it goes. For example, we have the keyword leather wallet for all of these match types that we have here. Right? So if a customer types plastic wallet, then it wouldn't show in any of these match types since it doesn't have the word leather. All right. Now, what if someone types leather small wallet? So for this one, it would only show under the broad campaign because, our keyword is not really intact for this one. I mean, leather and wallet, they have a modifier word in the middle of them. So it wouldn't appear on the phrase match wherein it can only it can only add a modifier word at the end or at the beginning of our keyword, right? Unlike in the broad phrase match, it would still appear in this kind of search wherein the modifier word is in the middle of our keyword. Now, for these three, so we have small leather wallet. There is a modifier word at the beginning. Then this one, leather wallet red, we have a modifier word at the end. And leather red wallet, we have a modifier word at in the middle of the keyword that we have. So for this one, it would only appear in broad match type, and not under phrase match type, as well as the exact match type. But for these two, since we have a modifier word at the beginning and at the end, so it would appear under broad match type as well as the phrase match type, but not in the exact match type. Right. So the only time that a customer search term would appear on the exact match type is if a customer types the exact keyword that we have, right, which is leather wallet. All right. And it would also recognize it if the customer type leather wallet in plural form, like leather wallet. So exact match type would also recognize that keyword. All right. So I hope that's pretty clear. All right. So to end this video, let's discuss the importance of Amazon PPC when it comes to the revenue line. Right, so Amazon PPC is the one that would push the sales for the products that we have, which means that if we have more sales, then our products rank would increase. All right. And the more that our product ranks on Amazon, the more that we would get more organic sales. And the more organic sales that we have, the less that we would have to spend on ads. And this would mean that the profit of our clients would increase and in turn would make our clients happy. So that's why Amazon PPC is very important. And that's pretty much it for now. I appreciate your time watching this video and I look forward to being part of your team. Bye for now.